Hello, everyone, and welcome to ISTE Game and Simulations Network Connected Educator Panel for Minecraft. We have a lot of people here today, and I'm going to turn it over to Tanya to introduce everybody. My name is Chris. As always, I'm the voice of the series, so I will be chiming in and out and running the slides. So take it away, Tanya.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Today we have brought to you by ISTE's Game Simulation Network. We have Chris, who you just heard is our communications chair. We have Kay Novak, who is the chair of the Games and Simulation Network for ISTE. Hi, Kay. And then we have a bunch of educators who are in varying stages of using Minecraft. First on your panel there, we have No Clue Kid, Marianne Malmstrom, cognitive architect, technology educator, teacher in New Jersey, correct, Marianne? In New Jersey? Yes, in North Jersey, and she's been using, actually, over the past few years. She used Guild Wars and World of Warcraft, and I guess Second Life, OpenSim, and most recently she uses Minecraft herself with students, and she helps teachers to use Minecraft in their classrooms in various topics. This is in elementary school. Next we have... Oh,
just a correction, elementary and middle school.
Oh, elementary and middle, so you go through 8th grade?
Yes.
Through 8th grade, so it's K through 8. And, you know, in a little while she'll, you know, give you more details as we talk about Minecraft. Next we have Kristina Thoennes, who is a media coordinator. I had to look it up in North Carolina, because in North Carolina they call them media coordinators. And she is like the ultimate researcher. You ask her anything and she'll look it up. And Kristina is right now researching Minecraft and how to use it in her school, because she's just been given the opportunity to start using Minecraft with her students and teachers. So she may be asking some questions today because she's in the research about. Next we have Randee Deich, who is a middle school, actually it's middle high school.
Middle and high.
Middle high, right, Randee?
Yeah, 6 through 12.
A middle high school teacher in Broward County, which happens to be the 6th largest school district in the country. Just saying. And Randee has been using Minecraft for over a year now. He's kind of has a similar role in terms of he's a coach. I think his official title is STEM coach. It's a STEM school, and is a Title I school that has been recently, what we call in Florida, I think we call it refurbished, but it was a low achieving school where they changed the faculty and changed a lot of things, brought in a lot of technology, created a STEM school. And Randee taught Minecraft last year, and this year is teaching Minecraft and a STEM class, as well as teaching teachers and helping teachers in these areas. Next we have Trish Cloud, who is, oh God, I keep forgetting your what's your title? Technology Associate. Technology Associate. And Trish has been running Minecraft clubs for over 3 years now. She's switched schools and ran it in one school, and then the school split, so now she's running it in another school. This is an elementary school, I believe, K through 5. And Trish also works with teachers and students in using Minecraft and incorporating it into their curriculum. And I'm Tanya Martin from Broward County, the Professional Learning Chair for the ISTE Games and Simulation Network. And I welcome you, and now we're kind of having, instead of having like a presentation from each person, we're going to have it more of a conversation. And I'm going to start with a question and then, you know, just jump in and answer and just let's discuss it. And the first thing that I want to ask is the challenge. What was the biggest challenge that you had, either in starting it, in doing it, and you know, Cam, and what is your biggest challenge? Maybe we should start with Cam because she's just starting, and then we can go to the others.
Well, our biggest challenge, I feel like, has been that has been a wonderful thing about our district, and that is that our students have one-to-one laptops now really from 3rd grade up through 12th grade, which is fantastic and has been a wonderful opportunity. The challenge, I feel like, has been that the students knew the value and interest and engagement of Minecraft before the adults caught on, and so they were very eager to use it on their laptops, unfortunately without permission. So that became a big kind of a nightmare to try to control it. And we didn't have an official outlet for them to be able to use it in schools. And I feel like our situation is different because we don't just have a computer lab where you could set up Minecraft on just those computers in the computer lab. So how do you make Minecraft available for kids to use at school, but kind of just when you want them to use it? So that has been a big challenge to figure out. And fortunately, in my research, I had access to a high school student who was a friend of my daughter's, who figured out how we could install Minecraft on a flash drive that would not save anything to the laptop at all, so we could have our Minecraft licenses on individual flash drives that students would just use when we want to. Now, so that is my dream, my hope that we will be able to implement. I'm still working on convincing and getting permission for that, but I'm hoping that technical part will be worked out.
So can anyone contribute to Cam? Help her out or tell us your challenge?
Well,
Randee, or anybody. Trish, go ahead.
Well, you know, Cam has got a different situation. We use Minecraft EDU, so in our situation, we just run it off of the desktops, and the licenses are not, we don't have to have a license per user, which with regular Minecraft, the license is bound to you. But with Minecraft EDU, it's sort of just you have a number of licenses, and that many students can use the license. So when I've talked with Cam about this before, that's been the one thing that's been the big difference, because she does work in a district that's right next to mine, and it is known throughout the state because they do have this wonderful one-to-one program. So she had told me about what her daughter's friend did, and I thought it sounded like a really cool idea. So I'm really anxious to see how she works it out.
And you mentioned a challenge that the students knew more than the teacher, and that was the biggest challenge to overcome, was realizing that I didn't have to learn Minecraft to start.
I can relate to that entirely, because throughout our digital conversion, as our initiative has been called, you know, the teachers have recognized that our kids are going to know often more about different tools than we do, and so I feel like we've gotten to a comfort level with that. The problem was that they were diving in and using it before it was officially sanctioned, I guess.
Okay. I think that's such a great story. Thanks for sharing that, Kristina. And that you figured a workaround and that the kids helped you is just right on the money. And I think it's really one of why Minecraft is a game changer. It's because the kids are breaking down some of the long formal barriers we've had in school of teachers having to have all the control. I mean, they're just bringing it into school, aren't they? And pretty much, you know, that's how we didn't have a lot of barriers when we started, which was back in the spring of 2011. So we've been in for quite a while. Nobody really knew what it was when we started. And I do work for an independent school that's pretty progressive, so I have a lot of support. But it was really student-driven. And I think that that's a theme that has really driven our program. And I'm thrilled to see more and more examples of school districts understanding that and partnering and becoming co-learners with their students and honoring that they bring some expertise to the table and entering that journey together. That's just epic.
Mm-hmm. Oh goodness, if I had to know how to play the game as well as some of these kids do, that would be all that I would be doing, because they are the experts. And I generally, if I have one student working on something and they come ask me a question, I say, look around the room. There's 40 other experts in the room. I'm sure one of them knows the answer to your question, so why don't we try to see if we can find out who has the answer? Because I said, in this case, Ms. Cloud does not know everything.
Well, and that, Trish, that's that is just a great observation. One of the things we have been running a 24/7 server for grades 3 through 8, almost from the beginning, from a philosophical point of view, because we felt it was irresponsible of the school to introduce something. We knew the kids would go home and play, and at that point in time, a lot of parents didn't understand that their kids were going onto servers. So we used it as a point of conversation at our school for parents to understand how to help their students, their children, play safely online. But because we had the 24/7 server, and I spent quite a bit of time immersed in their play space after school, as I also did in Second Life and other virtual worlds, was when you observe the kids playing in these spaces, they're doing exactly what you just described in the classroom. They know how to network, and they know where the strengths are, and they love to help each other. And so bringing Minecraft into the classroom is giving us an opportunity to help the kids bring in that kind of modern learning that we're looking to help transform our own pedagogical practices. And we are in server. Awesome.
And just playing around a little bit. Does anyone, I'm just curious, with all this challenge, I spoke to a principal yesterday who said to me, and this is a principal who has decision-making abilities, he can certainly write the check and say yes, and he said, I'm just trying to figure out how I can get Minecraft in my school. And it was a very brief conversation, and of course I invited him to attend this session, but of course I wanted to know, well, why was he having that struggle? And it seems to me that part of the struggle and part of the challenge is to convince, whether it's your parents or your fellow educators or your administrator, that this is a good idea. Like, how do you convince them that this is not just some silly game? And is that any of the challenge? Because none of you said that was a challenge. All of you said, you kind of said the same thing, and I was kind of surprised by that. So, but did you find that to be a challenge, to convince your administrators, to convince your fellow educators?
If I may address that, because really, for us, it was about safety, and it's something that people don't talk about a lot, but when I've been traveling and lecturing about why bring these virtual worlds into the classroom, it is a matter of safety, in that we know the best predictors of safety is civil behavior, and you really don't teach digital citizenship. You practice citizenship in the context of living. Dr. Bronstocki calls this the lived curriculum, and we practice that at home with our kids. We practice that at school in the context of day-to-day, and if we want them to develop these civil behaviors online, then we're going to have to give them the space to practice. And this really was the cornerstone for us bringing Minecraft into the school, opening up the 24/7 server. We would have Bring Your Parents to Game Day, where they could watch the kids play, and then we would talk to the parents about that. And they really got that and appreciated having that point to talk about, because games are a hard sell still. There's a lot of stigma still around the games, but when you're talking about a chance for your young children to practice in an environment, they get that. And for very young kids, games are their Facebook. They are socially connected online. They are participating, and it's the games. And so for us, that's been the strongest, most solid, and actually urgent reason to be bringing these spaces into school.
And I completely agree with that, and I think that's one of the driving reasons why I would love to see our school get started using Minecraft, to give them that opportunity to practice. At some point somebody said that you don't teach swimming by sitting in a classroom talking about how to swim. You go into the swimming pool, and I don't know who to cite on that as a librarian, sorry. But I think one of the other challenges that I see in our district is that we are really focused on student achievement and for things that are measured, and things that in our state are counted as valuable. And at the same time, we very much want to promote problem solving and critical thinking and collaboration and all those kinds of things. But it's really a tension, and I think it's in a lot of schools, because those things are not measured by the instruments that our state uses to measure our value as a school. So there's that tension there for teachers, that they are being evaluated, and the school is being judged on measures that aren't those necessarily the critical thinking and problem solving and that happen in an environment like Minecraft. So that's another challenge, I think.
And that's a great segue to one of our questions is, you know, how have you aligned what you do with Minecraft to the standards that your institutions require? And, you know, I guess every state has some, every school, every institution has some sort of requirements. How do you align those things?
You know,
Well, oh, go ahead, Randee.
You know, when you first talk about standards and, you know, problem solving, like everything that we've addressed is problem solving was the opportunity for us, you know, from everything from how do we get Minecraft on our computers, how do we work in a safe environment. These were the challenges that I gave the students, because when looking at the standards, when working in a population where failure was the norm, and we gave them, provides the students a chance to have success of failing, meaning that we kind of encouraged that chance to find their own answers. When dealing with the direct standards, let me see if I can show you, we organized their work on Google Docs. And I worked with their social studies teachers and with one class. And I don't know if you can see this, is they put together for this class of what they were building, the purposes, the steps, materials, who was responsible, their start and end dates. And I asked them, what are they studying in school, you know, in their social studies class? And they brought it to me. And when they talk about the purpose, they added the standards. You know, we have strong emphasis of having our students talk about what are they doing, what are they learning. And part of the whole conversation with Common Core, you know, that rigor and relevance piece, and taking ownership for it. Well, it's kind of like I mentioned, you know, Tanya mentioned earlier. It's like the obvious. Well, if we're looking at rigor and relevance and demonstration and Common Core, it's almost that Minecraft is a synergy of all of this put together, and the students get it. And I think it's giving them the language of how to communicate this with the other teachers.
Mm.
Well, last year, I had 3 fifth-grade girls who, every time I turned around, they were wanting to do something else in Minecraft, where they were using it for social studies, math, science, and they were doing their projects there. It's interesting. What I'm noticing now is when third, fourth, and fifth grade students are given the opportunity to come up with a project to do, they tend to think in Minecraft. It's not even like they think about writing a paper anymore. It's like, how can I build this in Minecraft? How can I take what's in my brain and put it in this virtual 3D environment that will communicate to my teacher and classmates what I want to say? And my teachers at my school have been so impressed with what the students are doing. They are very open to letting students do the projects in Minecraft. And even though it's kind of like a not so kind of thing, but anyway, it's like a good standard of, if you behave and your behavior in class warrants you getting this privilege, it works. And so it reduces behavior issues at all times, because the kids want to build their projects in Minecraft. And this year I have a fifth grade teacher who is giving me North Carolina state standards for social studies, and we have fifth graders building the social studies unit in Minecraft to align to the state standards that other students can participate in to do their colonial unit. So it's aligning.
I shared with you one of my students, Linnell, created a water filtration plant, and it's kind of funny. It's on Minecraft, but he actually put it on created a report and paper with his screenshots to share with. I asked him to put together this report for other teachers to look at, and as Linnell was learning different ways to filter, he would go back and adjust his plant, and he'd also would adjust his report. So it mirrored his learning, and it showed his growth. It's almost like his portfolio.
That's so awesome. I'm always so impressed with what the kids come up with. So just amazing.
So is this giving you some ammo, Kristina, for preparing?
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
And Grit, I just wanted to jump in really, really quickly because you asked the alignment and the core question. And what I wanted to jump in with real quickly was an article that actually Trish shared with us. that her principal shared with her. And it's in Wired Magazine, Clive Tomlinson, and it was like from a day or two ago. Okay, here's the deal. How do Minecraft helps kids how to read, right? Now, the deal of it is, those of us who have been working in games, of course we're going, yes, of course it does, right? And we've been screaming this at the top of our lungs for years now. And I just wanted to say, because we'll toss something up on the ISTE site with this. To go with this, Leon Teisling out of Boise State, she's a literacy professor there. She's done some incredible sessions with us where she goes into the Common Core, and I should be able to screen share that one with you guys too. I think I have it up somewhere here. But she goes into the Common Core, and she really looks at it and goes, not only is the literacy, but she also talks about take a look at the research that the students are doing. And I mean, Minecraft and these games, every gamer, who does something more than play Candy Crush, knows this. Knows that there's a metagame out there, and that you have 1 million people writing about things, and you have to learn to find the information, filter through the information, form a hypothesis based on what this person said, test it out, experiment, go back. And a lot of these kids and gamers are continually writing, making videos. I mean, in some games there's something called theorycraft. So people are doing math and calculus to figure things out. And they're doing it outside of school. When was the last time you heard of your students doing math for fun? Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, so the thing that I just wanted to point out was totally a segue from your question about standards. Just sit down, look at your standards, look at what the kids are doing. If you're a person who has to align it, you can figure it out. You can look at what they're doing and you can align it. So that was just my plug, and I'll go back to the regular scheduled broadcast.
No, that was it's a great contribution, and I like this principal, I will forward this article to him, and I think that as educators we do see it, but somehow it does have to be sold. Especially in a district my size and in a district with all the accountability and what Kristina said about how teachers are being evaluated, and some of these things are not measured with the metrics that we use. So it is a difficult sell sometimes. I'm waiting to see what the results are like. Does anybody have results of anything to show that students have achieved, who have played in Minecraft in their schools over a period of time?
I'm biting at the bits, and I have to say thank you, Kay, for bringing that up. And I think that the shift for me is the difference between learning and teaching. And it's something I saw when we first went into Second Life, that everybody came in and built and wanted to build the simulations for consumption. And after a while, we started to look at that space differently. And as we go into Minecraft, I think the first reaction for teachers is, how are we going to teach with this? And it's really about learning. It gives us an opportunity to see it from the kids' point of view. And what you were talking about, Kay, going in and us looking at it and doing the heavy lifting, reverse engineering it back to whatever set of standards your school district or is responsible for, instead of trying to craft lessons to teach to meet those standards. And I think where people are having success is when they're coming in from that angle. But you've got to get there. It's a process to be comfortable, because as teachers we're taught, to come in there and teach. So to take that leap of faith and approach it from the learning back is a little bit foreign. But I would like to share something that actually happened this summer that kind of gives the scope of this whole journey, since I've been on it for a long time. And I have a student in 8th grade who's been gaming with me since 3rd grade. And she really was probably one of the students most instrumental in forming our own Minecraft program over the years. Some of you know her as Snow Kit. And really a very shy student in school, struggling, has just emerged as such a leader. But it never was more apparent than this summer. I'm going to try to share this with you, if possible.
Here's your school. Kay's sharing.
Let's see if I can do that. This one right here. So is that coming up full screen?
Mm-hmm.
Not yet.
Well, sort of.
Sort of. So this is, I think, if I can just briefly tell the story, is the scope of, like, not everything worth measuring we can measure in a test, and I think this is a good example. So this is a little picture while we were traveling through New Zealand this summer, and I saw Mount Hood in the background, and so of course I took out my iPad to take a picture, and when I did, there was a message on my iPad from Snow Kit, and she said, "Can we talk?" And I'm on my very expensive minutes, but I know her well enough to know that if she wants to talk, there's a good reason. And it turns out that she had wanted to make a proposal to our school to use Ingress for PE. And so she had written this proposal, and she asked if I would read it and see if it was okay. So here's this student who's coming back to me during the summer and asking for some feedback, and thank God Peggy was in the car, who actually could correct English and spelling. And so we took a look at it and helped her to put this letter through, and I just, it's pretty amazing because she shows such confidence in this letter, and other than helping her with some spelling and citations, we really didn't touch the letter, and then just giving her some information about how to put it through. But you can see she cited all the reasons why using Ingress, which is an augmented reality game, would be a really good idea for PE, for kids who didn't like PE but loved games. And so I helped her put that through, and fast forward, the school's actually entertaining her proposal, and in the spring we're going to run a brand new kind of game using Ingress, other augmented reality, plus games that we're creating. And that all came from the leadership and the opportunities that she had to help frame and develop our Minecraft program. So, and there she is actually presenting at Games for Change with Nick Fortunato and Barry Joseph, Dr. Bronstucky, and Sasha Barab, Dr. Sasha Barab, and she's holding her own. And she really was the expert that day there talking about Minecraft. So that kind of gives you the whole scope of why it's so important for us to enter these spaces is not just thinking them as a place to teach math or teach science, but as an opportunity to understand the kind of learning that these kids are going to need in their world that's agile, that's going to help them follow their passion to develop their own sense of autonomy. And so thanks for letting me share that. And how do I cancel and get out? I released? Okay.
Thanks. I'm just curious as to how widespread the use of Minecraft is in your schools, if you could address that, because I think a lot of times it's, you know, that person, the you guys that kind of see this and are willing to go out on a limb and are willing to kind of maneuver to break the rules a little bit and do this, and how widespread is it, and how difficult was it to get it to that point, or are you the only one, kind of thing? And I know you're not, so if you could, you know, kind of go through and address that, each of you. Anybody can start.
Especially, I have a large population of students that want to participate in the class, but we only have a certain amount of seats available. So how can I work when you have, you know, 300 students coming to you every day, saying I want to be here?
Well, Randee, are there any teachers in your school that you're reaching out to that are also going to be doing this? Or I mean, I know you're kind of you're a little bit of a rule breaker, or a rule bender, I should say.
They're open to sending their children to me during their class period. That's what they're open to.
Oh, okay. So what do you think it's going to take to convince them? Like, why aren't they doing it?
I still think that they're hung up in the content that they're familiar with, and their delivery of that, you know, what they're familiar with.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's definitely not because of lack of technology, because we have enough here, you know, where we can address that issue. You know, we were very creative on making sure we have Minecraft on our computers. We don't use EDU. We didn't purchase licenses, but we wanted to make sure, you know, we didn't, because the concern was, how do you keep it safe and secure? So we just found a creative Minecraft application to use in our school, and we can put it on every laptop. You know, but right now we have high demand of students and not enough classrooms.
Because you're the only one. You got to do. And Trish, how about you? I mean, I know you started it, but you managed to get out a little bit, right, with other teachers?
Well, a lot of our teachers will come borrow. I have PE version on iPads at the school, so teachers will come borrow the iPads with the Pocket Edition on them and use that in the classroom. And then I see every class once during the week for technology, and that technology time can be converted into time to do an assignment in Minecraft if that's what the teacher has worked out with me. And it is getting out in our district. I know there's probably about 10 or 15 schools right now that are using Minecraft EDU in the district, and we use Minecraft EDU because the district has liked that, and that's what our district is supporting.
So the teachers that are using it, are they using it as I mean, I know you do the after school club, but is it being used in classrooms? Is it being used as a supplement? Is it being used as a special class?
Probably everywhere else in the district it's still being used as an after school club, and I'm probably one of the few that is sort of branching it out into the classroom to where it's, I would say, supplementing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you have, tell us a little bit about your club and how do you select, because again, you have the same situation Randee does, a limited number of seats. How do you figure out who's in?
I've had to be very creative in that, to where when the announcement goes out that Minecraft Club signups are coming, that it's presented somewhere in a fair way that everyone has access to it. This year I I had my principal send out a Connect Ed message to the parents saying sign up start at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night, and I posted a live link on our school's website at that time that was linked to a Google form that the parents filled out. And so as the Google form was filled out, you know, it populates a spreadsheet and it's date and time stamped. And I just take the first 90 kids, and the first 45 are fall, the second 45 are spring, and then we have a waiting list.
Trish, I'm sorry. Trish, may I ask you a question about your gender? Do you save so many spots for girls and so many spots for boys, or is it first come, first serve?
I just go first come, first serve, and I have, this year, you know, it tends to be a boy kind of, I tend to have more boys, but I'm getting more girls, and for some reason I end up with more girls in the fall than I do in the spring. And this year I have probably 30% girls. So, and I get more girls. It seems that the little girls are getting into it younger. So, where I only had about 2 or 3 first graders last year, I have about 10 first grade girls this year. So it's the girl concept, the girl quotient seems to be coming into its own a little bit more. Whereas a few years ago there was only a few girls, I have more girls now.
That's an interest. That whole gender thing in technology has been very written about and publicized recently, especially with coding. The whole code.org initiative is about getting more girls into coding and of course the stereotype is, oh, boys play video games and boys do all this stuff. If the rest of you could address that question, what do you find, Randee, with your boy and girl ratio?
They're both equally excited. I really haven't found a difference between the two. You know, they're both engaged in the academic piece, and I do allow time in the classroom for, you know, the free time with Minecraft, where it's not focused on, you know, standard projects. And the girls and the boys have equally show much gusto with, you know, working with and, you know, killing creepers as much as everybody else. You know, what's even nice is I think I have more girls at this point who are entering at the novice level, and they're working together. No one stands alone in working Minecraft in the classroom. They're all organized by teams, and on each team you have various, you know, levels of experience in users. But pretty much it's been nice. It's a very nice and encouraging balance between the sexes. I'm trying to work out a plan not just for sexes, but I want to target actually students below reading level to participate in the classroom. You know, I use team leaders and project managers in the assignments, and so I have student leaders and student mentors. But I want to have, you know, I understand the list of the sign-up list, but I want to target those that are below reading and see exactly what type of outcomes and influence this has. There's not so much boys and girls, but so much as ability levels in their core content.
Yeah,
you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I do, and thanks Trish and Randee, because I do find that it does bring girls and boys to the table. But I do find that the older they get, that I start to see that imbalance, and I'm actually playing with some classes that I save, you know, half the spaces for female and male. When that, I'm playing around with that because I know that there's been some research that says that 50% mark of girls in a class is kind of a magic number for robotics and coding. But it is a game that tends to bring both genders to the table. Which I think is a phenomenal thing in this day and age to really keep that girls going in this field and to change, I think, some long-standing stigma around technology. As far as teachers using it, I've seen a real swing now with teachers in my school adopting it, but it took time. It took time for them to see really the engagement and energy. And Chris, I'm going to drop a link to a great article that was done by a researcher at Columbia who came over and worked with one of my teachers who was adopting it in class, and her whole theory was that it wasn't about the game, it was about good teachers will be attracted to platforms like Minecraft, not because they're gamers, but because they're good teachers. And so she followed Carolyn Bleasner and wrote a really lovely piece about how Carolyn was experimenting with the platform and learning with the kids. But I have a great story of a teacher who actually really found Minecraft to be annoying, but in the end of the day, she allowed her kids to use it in math because, again, she was a really good teacher and she was trying to teach scale. And when kids were using paper to do scale representation of the Eiffel Tower and Big Ben, it was very hard to get that scale. When she allowed them to move it into Minecraft, suddenly it was a very concrete way for them to explore scale. And so we helped support her to set up the server, and she monitored the project in the classroom. She learned enough about the game to go in and see their work. But again, she was a great teacher and found that it was the right tool for her lessons. So I was very inspired by that. And another teacher is taking over the after-school program. Yay! So it's really becoming much more not a program that lives in my lab, but is really much more accepted throughout the school now. So
great.
We talked a little bit about, the challenges. I'm wondering about your being a professional developer. Where did you go for your professional development on Minecraft, or did you go, or did you need anything? Did you find it available? How did you? And it may not have been to use Minecraft, but what did you need to do for yourself to use this method? I mean, I guess you're all kind of flipping the classroom, not in some sense that we've seen a lot of, but you're flipping it in terms of students. And you're flipping the learning, but what did you have to do to change professionally or to learn professionally to incorporate Minecraft in your classrooms?
Tanya, are you asking about actually learning Minecraft or learning how to use it?
Learning whatever it is that you had to learn to do this. I mean, maybe you didn't have to learn Minecraft, and you said earlier you really didn't have to learn Minecraft. So what did you have to learn?
I still haven't learned Minecraft. I don't play Minecraft. I started. I put it on my tablet. I started playing with it on my Xbox, and I decided not to. I let my kids work on it, and I just facilitate their learning. But no, I don't play Minecraft. I think I have logged in this year 0 hours.
Well, I started playing Minecraft when it was in the beta back in 2009.
Wow.
I mean, I got it from Steam for like $12, and I liked it. I tooled around in it, but I had this other game that kept drawing me away at the time. You may have heard of it. It's called World of Warcraft. So I never devoted a whole lot of time to it. So when I was moved into a new lab at the school I used to be at, where I got 2 carts of iPads, and I wanted to find a way of getting gaming into the classroom, and so I had played Minecraft. I knew it was on the iPads, and I knew that you could get it on the computers, and it seemed like a way of getting games into the school. So when I had a door opened a little bit of a crack, I immediately hit my principal and said, "Can I do this?" And he said, "Sure." So I sort of wedged my way in the door, and this is where it's taken me.
That's awesome.
I think I started with World of Warcraft. I got sucked into World of Warcraft because of my nephews, and then I noticed the way that World of Warcraft scaffolds learning in the quests, and that led me to a session at a conference about using World of Warcraft, which led me to 3D Game Lab. And I signed up for a teacher camp with 3D Game Lab maybe 4 years ago, and one of the quest chains was about Minecraft. And because I work with 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, I knew World of Warcraft was not going to work at that age. So I was looking for other games and virtual environments. I'd also dabbled a little tiny bit with Second Life, and again, I felt like that was not going to work for my age of students. And so Minecraft, is very age appropriate, I feel like. So it's a virtual environment, it's a game. So that's how I got into it, and then I've just learned more and more about it through the 3D Game Lab, and then through the Minecraft Unsymposium last December that people in this group posted, and so I just pick up every opportunity.
Do you play, Kristina?
I did maybe about.
I know you built a giant
I play out of world
Minecraft for your yard, but do you play?
I think when I was doing the 3D Game Lab quest chain, I started playing, and I loved being able to create and build in that world. I spent hours on it. And definitely when we were talking about how you have to do research, or that it's natural to do research outside of a game to learn what you can do in the game, definitely we did a lot of that on the Minecraft wiki and watching YouTube videos. And when I say we, I'm talking about my daughter and I. And but then I think there was a point at which I had little hope for getting Minecraft into my school, and so my interest diminished. But it has been revitalized. I also have trouble because I get a little motion sick sometimes when I play. So.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. How about you, Marianne? Did you have to learn anything different, or what was your voyage like?
Well, initially when I saw Minecraft, I rejected it. Somebody brought it to me, knew my interest in virtual worlds in school, and I just said, "You got to be kidding me." So, famous last words. And it was only when my kids, we had a virtual world we were working in, and it went belly up overnight, literally. And so I had nothing for my 7th graders, and I offered them Second Life because we had our own estate at that time. I offered them World of Warcraft. They voted 7-1 to go into Minecraft, and I wish that I had taped it that day. It changed my whole world to listen to them negotiate the game. That was the first time I started to understand it. I made fun of them for being afraid of the zombies. I went home and played it that night, and then wrote them an apology for being afraid of the zombies because I think I turned off the game. And yeah, so I do play, and I've become very immersed in the play. We spent a whole summer, once we adopted it, playing games. We just sat down, the teachers played alongside with the kids. So it wasn't my favorite game initially, but over time, especially in our 24/7 server, and playing with the kids and all their iterations of making towns and doing mods, got very involved in it. And I think, I really applaud the teachers who say they do it anyway and they don't feel they have to get into it. I think that that's the strength of this little platform, that you can feel comfortable doing that. But if you are a gamer and you want to understand more about the learning, I maintain that the real learning is embedded in the play, but it's very uncomfortable for adults to go there. So, but if you can, and as Kristina said, it is hard, I think, for a lot of adults because they get motion sick. But I am a survivalist and a miner, and if you play Minecraft, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So.
So what is your advice to somebody just starting out, or somebody wanting to embark on this, having been through your journey? What, wisdom can you give them? Where should they start?
I'd say play with a kid. Play with your own children if you have children to play. Ask your kids at school to sit down and show you what they love about it. Kids love to teach. If you can handle the motion sickness, try to get in the game with them. I think for me.
I was just gonna jump in, and I'm just gonna have a little fun with the one thing she said. Ask your kids. Oh my God, you have to ask them. They're not. I mean, I know what it's like for me, and I work with college students. They are showing me all the time, and
Right.
anybody's friend who knows that I do games, their kids are, like when they see me, oh, okay, and they pull out their mom's iPad to show me what they did, and they're like, show me yours. I mean, I almost feel that saying "ask a kid" is wrong. It's like, listen to the ones who are already showing you.
Thank you. Point well taken.
And it's interesting that you mentioned the college kids, Kay, because I know I took a trip to UCF and I did a tour of their online learning center, and they hire all these college students who are in that field. They are in that major and studying to be programmers or whatever, and they work part-time in the lab at the help desk. So I'm in a room with about 20, college students who are embarking on their, education for the rest of their lives kind of thing. And they're all sitting at the help desk and with computers and answering, silly questions like, how do I log in? And I forgot my password stuff. And I had an opportunity to talk to them, and I asked them, what do you do in your spare time? And these are all 20-year-olds, 20-somethings. Pretty much across the board, they all said, oh, we play Minecraft. So here was, a room of kids who are programmers, who are heavy-duty tech geeks, in college, and they've got their little swords and Minecraft things all over the room, and that's what they do in their spare time, and they're 20. And then we're talking about your second graders and kindergartners that are playing Minecraft. So it seems to sort of span an age that, and it's equally fun and meaningful, like, to all groups.
Yeah, if you're hesitating on starting, I do agree. Ask your students on where to start, because chances are they're being asked by a teacher to do a shoebox diorama.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if they have a chance to, instead of doing a shoebox diorama, ask them how can they demonstrate the, the items on their rubric in Minecraft. They'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's adorable when you're walking down the hall and you have 5-year-old kids stopping you in the hallway to tell you what they built last night on Mom's iPad in Minecraft. And they're so excited about it because for them it's the first time it's ever happened. It's a eureka kind of moment. Mm-hmm. And they're always so excited to share those little moments with you, because even though for you, that's like the 400th time you've heard about a house being built, for them, it's a new learning moment, and it's opened up a new little pathway in their head, and now they're open to learning so much more. And you just don't find that excitement after they've just finished doing a mimeographed sheet where they've had to draw lines matching vegetables to letters. And here they are, they have actually made something with their own two hands that has meaning, it's in depth, it's 3D. They've probably put things in there that you would never ever think of, and the way they come up with solutions using the materials at hand, whatever they do, where they'll let something fill up with water to make it into an elevator. They'll, just whatever they can come up with to work, that innovation that they're constantly creating and coming up with new ideas, it's just always so fun just to watch those little excited faces doing these things.
It is a makerspace, isn't it, Trish?
Yes, it is. And it brings out the best in some of them. I have 2 little boys this year that are new to our school that they're Asian Indians, and they don't speak a whole lot of English, and neither of them had ever played Minecraft before, but their dads got them signed up in the club. So I've got them there. They've never played, and I had a 3rd grade boy volunteer to sit with them, to communicate with them, and teach them how to play the game in the club. And they are having the time of their lives. And it just sometimes causes kids to take it to the next level, to rise above their normal comfort zone and step out and do something they never thought they would ever do.
And I just want to jump in. The thing of it is, I just wanted to show, and this is called Merrill's First Principles of Instruction, right? And there's this like neglected place that we never talk about. And don't look, because I'm going to scroll. You might get motion sickness. So Kristina, be careful. Okay. But here it is, and it's up on my screen, and it's on integration and watch me. We don't do this with our students. So much of the time, we're trying to structure how that integration looks.
Yes.
And we're looking at the assessment. And, you know, we have to write the assessment, right? And we have to make the decision on what that's going to be. What Minecraft shows to me over and over and over again is this watch me principle in here. Look, a big part of learning is you integrate it and you watch me. I mean, and I'm just going to read straight from here. Whenever learners acquire new skills, their first desire is to show a close friend or associate their newly acquired ability. We see this over and over and over again in Minecraft, okay? How many times when you've taught something out of a textbook has a student run up to you all excited? Oh, gosh, I just learned how to, you know, oh, I just learned this fact. Think about this. If what we're really seeing, and we've been dancing around it and kind of talking about it, it's a different kind of learning. It's a different kind of way of visualizing. It's a different kind of way of showing. And look at this enthusiasm and this motivation that's happening with this medium. Okay? I mean, our students do it with videos too. They'll create that video that they want to show that they've done something, and that's great. But the thing of it is, you know, it's back to we're not giving them as many choices as they should have when it comes to this integration phase. And we're losing out on the student motivation with this watch me, because when we sit them down to a multiple choice test, other than a few of them who want to get the 100 on the quiz, and I know maybe some of you were one of those, but other than that, we're losing this. We're losing this love of learning in a lot of what we're doing. And now I'll go back to Tanya so she can get us back on track.
Yeah, and this brings me to like the really important question of what was your greatest success in your use of Minecraft with the students? Like if you could each weigh in on that. So let's start with Marianne. What was your biggest success with Minecraft?
Wow, that's a really big question because we've actually done so many projects and over the years. But I think for me is when is exactly what Kay was just talking about. When the kids left the cons of Minecraft in our school and they set out on their own and created their own Minecraft camp called Minecraft Institute of Technology, and you can actually go to that site, minecraftinstituteoftechnology.com. It's the website was created by the kids on their own, totally coded. It's a beautiful website. My colleague and I actually supported them with the school's sanction to create a server outside of school. And they were running their own Google Hangouts through Pursuitery last summer. And watching my kids actually run a Google Hangout, address questions, teach in-game, and they were really, really good teachers. I thought I was a master at mining, and they taught me tricks I had no idea. And so watching them grow beyond my program and do that outside was a really, really big moment for me personally as a teacher.
Okay, who wants to go next? Your biggest success?
I think one Tanya mentioned my school was repurposed, and it was repurposed. You know, that meant everyone from administration to facilities was let go, and the culture was one of there wasn't learning happening at the school. It was a culture of violence and drugs and whatnot. So the biggest success was students coming to school early and wanting to stay late, you know, for the right reason. And that's snowballing. you know, that's getting, that word is out. That's a game changer. I think another great success that I want to show you on the screen is, this is, oh, I can't think, it's gone. This is our school, our SIG money, and we actually have in our budget software for Minecraft, a line item and a code attached to it. So it's a big success on the below the line is my principal has added it for school improvement funds.
Yes. That's great. That's great.
That's awesome. How about you, Trish? Your greatest success in Minecraft?
I think it would be after last year with the 3 fifth-grade girls I had that did so much. They just opened the 5th-grade teens' eyes to what it could be done with it in math, science, and social studies. And now I've got the entire 5th-grade team that's just ready to send me kids on kids to do stuff in Minecraft. But I think one of the coolest things was when I was told that our district was going to support it. And that to me was awesome when they said, if your school buys this, we will send engineers to help you install it. And the school district had me build a Minecraft in CMS website this summer, so that teachers in the district have a place to come find out about it, how to buy it, how to install it, and what you can do with it. That, to me, was just like, yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yay, CMS.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I kind of want to, we're at the top of the hour, and I know Randee has to get back to class because he's skipping class so that he can join us today. And it is but if anyone has anything to add, I'm just dying to find out what everybody thinks about Microsoft taking over Minecraft and what that's going to mean. Randee, we're going to have to sign off. If you can stay for a couple minutes, that's cool. If we want to just kind of weigh in on that question. If you have to run, we get it.
Thanks. Thank you for the time to go back. I told them I'd return at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay, bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Anybody want to weigh in on what's going to happen with Microsoft?
Can I just...
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Cam. I'm sorry. Kristina, go ahead.
I know I haven't been able to use Minecraft in school yet. Maybe ask me in a year what my biggest accomplishment there is. But I do have to share. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Of my Minecraft. The personal accomplishment of this.
Oh my gosh, it's great.
I always have to brag a little on that. So it lives in the front of my house. It's getting a little weathered, but I'm hoping it'll last another year or so.
I've heard about this. This is yours.
Yes.
Yes. It's mine.
Awesome.
It's a neighborhood landmark now.
That is epic. That's awesome. Boom.
There you
So
go.
what's going to happen with Microsoft? Good, bad?
I don't know, but I was really following it quite closely through social media during the talks, and one of the things, people said the kids don't care, and that's not what I was observing at all. I think kids really did care. There was a lot of back channels, Save Minecraft. Something I saw when Lego Universe pulled the plug, that kids are very devoted to their games. And I don't know personally. I do have a bit of a concern because Microsoft has a history of breaking things, and we're not really sure what their motives. But I'm going to choose to be optimistic that they will respect the game and the user base. But I think time will tell. But it has been interesting to follow that that whole process online, and talked to my kids a lot about. They were very savvy about what the reasons were and their own speculation. They, like everybody else, were all over the map. And I loved one little 6th grade girl just said, Notch thinks he can go off and be by himself, but he can't. So pretty perceptive.
Anyone else weighing in on that one?
I'm kind of a mind that I'm thinking the one platform that doesn't have Minecraft on a mobile device is Microsoft. And I believe I've told some of y'all all this before, is that I really think they're going to use this as a way of getting Minecraft on Windows-based phones and Surface tablets, especially because I hear a lot of noise about middle school and high schoolers really liking Surface tablets. And the biggest competition for a Surface tablet right now is a Chromebook, and a Chromebook can't run Minecraft either. So it's going to be who can get Minecraft on that very portable, user-friendly device that is so going to become more ubiquitous in middle schools and high schools. And so I'm wondering if that's, my prognostication is it's going to go there. I'm really hoping, like you, No Clue, that they're not going to break it, that they're just going to sort of just let it kind of continue being its own ecosystem without tampering.
Well, that would be a big win for Microsoft if they can actually do it, because I think the culture has been very proprietary, and the success behind Minecraft has been the community base and how they have shared. They've shared assets and codes and games and maps, and that has been the community. And so the question that I'll be watching, will the culture of Microsoft, the big corporation, change the game, or will the game change that culture? It's the same thing I'm looking at in education. When we started this conversation, is that it's wormed its way into schools. You cannot ignore it, because the kids will bring it in and break the rules and find a way to play it in school. So you can either try to bring Minecraft into control, or you can use it as a vehicle to reflect on our own practice. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Okay, well, thanks for that last one. I think we've pretty much covered a lot of stuff, and I thank you guys for coming on a Saturday, and we'll be doing more. Any other words of wisdom from anybody? Kay, Chris, anybody?
Yeah, I mean, I've been quiet for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for me, with the Microsoft thing, it's going to be interesting. I agree with the Surface tablet. I think that's probably where it's going. I think the Windows Phone as well. I also see them probably taking a look at the Minecraft marketplace and seeing about a way, probably looking at monetizing that, unfortunately. But I think that's what they do. But the thing is you can also see it where they go the other way, where they go ahead and then Minecraft becomes the next Internet Explorer, and it's on every single desktop that's ever sent out. And so every computer comes with Minecraft in its games component, games bundle. So instead of solitaire, people can play Minecraft on it. So who knows? It's one of those things where it'll be interesting to go. It is good that it's the Xbox side of the company that is going to be working most likely with the Minecraft area. So it is people from a gaming environment. It'll be interesting to see. Also, it may also end up on a bunch of other consoles as well. So there's lots of opportunities, and there's lots of interesting wrong turns. One of the biggest things was like, please, please, please don't try to make Minecraft into a word. Okay. we don't let Minecraft replace PowerPoint. Okay.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting how they go after that. But thank you all for the great discussion. I guess I'll turn over the mic to anyone else who has some parting comments.
Well, that's just what I wanted to say is Chris and Kay and Tanya and Trish and Kristina, I'm don't know you as well, but I just really appreciate that you all have been having this conversation for some time, and I just really love that we're just seeing another iteration where this is becoming so mainstream, and it's really seems to be taking a hold. And thank you for putting this together today, and for all the past times that you've been bringing this conversation to the forefront. So, pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you.
for coming.
And it's always wonderful to hear what's going on with you, Marianne, because your school is just, I just saw that website. That's amazing. And so congratulations on that website and everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yep. Thanks, everyone, and
Bye-bye.
thanks again for watching us. This again was brought to you by the Games and Simulation Network as part of Connected Educator Month. So everyone stay connected. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.